All material activities meant for satisfying the senses are contaminated, and not action and greed do not perform anything contaminated. The simple activities transmit to activities we do not perform judgment. Consequently, the eternal supreme Lord is suffering. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anatyantamishya Janayana Shravya Chakshurumidam Tasmai Shri Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavisham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Dati Swakam Vanchakāpatarunashta Vipāya Sandhurvecachara Atīkāram Bhāvanavī Vaishnavē Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Doesn't it bother you? Class for chapter Kumam down. Alright, so here, I don't know if the sages that are being discussed here are the same as Brahmanas who were kind of critiquing Maharaj Gandhi's desire earlier. Because here the knowledge of glorification, but the word of the old sages, which makes me think that the Maharaj Gandhi had to some of the stars. So that's just a note. Bhagavad doesn't come anyways, so in the book of podcast, speaking on emphasizing word treatment, which means that the activities of knowledge and greed were all pure. Treatment is pure. So what is pure? Pure means exclusively for the pleasure of Krishna. That is pure. Simply pure. Non-Adhikam, so again, like non-Adhikam, means having only Krishna as the point of consideration, which is very difficult for those under the multi-nature nature. Because under the multi-nature nature, we have separate interests. This is an indication of being contaminated by the multi-nature. Whether it be goodness, passion, or ignorance, in either case there's some separate interest in this, and there some separate desire. Therefore, it's not pure. And the mode of goodness is separate desires for self-purification. And in the mode of passion, separate desire is for something material. I desire something that's material. And in the mode of ignorance, the desires are very destructive. Like, for example, the desire to cause harm to someone or see something harmful happen to someone. You know how they say it's a lifestyle. This is the language used in the 29th chapter of the Canto, where there is discussing about devotional service contaminated by the imagination. Of course, devotional service can never be contaminated, but those who are practicing devotional service under the imagination, they're contaminated. So that contamination refers to practitioner, not exactly to devotional service. And to them, there are practitioners who are in the ignorance and they desire harm from others. And Prabhupada mentions that they're called as Vaishnavas because they accept Vishnu as the supreme Lord, but they don't always accept the Vaishnava because such destructive desires can only be considered Vishnu. But this is the indication of contamination. Whether it be goodness, passion, or ignorance, all are contaminated, all are not pure, because there's some separate interests. And purity means exclusively the happiness of Krishna, the desire to show kindness to Krishna, and not just the desire to exploit him. Just like in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna refers to Krishna as Govinda, And low means one who can satisfy the senses. So, see, in Vedic culture, they were very subtle. They use like the name and things. In Kali Yuga, we have to like spell everything out, full sentences with periods and commas and meditation and everything. But in Vedic culture, they're very subtle. Culture means subtlety. That's what culture means, subtle. Actually, real culture. So you can see we're not very cultural people now. We're getting very, very close. And that's because of lack of culture. So anyway, real culture people are subtle, so our name is subtle indicating to Krishna. Like Govinda, which is supposed to be the satisfier of the senses. Why aren't you satisfying my senses? By trying to engage with this world, I am not all satisfied. And just because that's not pure. Purity is not to consider one's own satisfaction, which is based on a misconception of life, but rather to satisfy the senses of Govinda, Krishna. That is that is purity. To desire the happiness of Krishna and have no other consideration. So it's really that simple, but in terms of application, it's really hard because we're trapped by the modes of nature. As we discussed it, the word used for the modes of nature is guna. So the word guna, aside from meaning mode or quality, also means look. So this as one is bound by the hands and feet by strong blows. So the gunas have a strongly bound up to goodness, passion, ignorance, and therefore separate interest in the happiness of Krishna. So as a result, we won't get benedictions like having Krishna as a son. For those persons who are aspiring, so Krishna will reciprocate according to the desire that is his nature. So if our desires are in the modes of nature, he will reciprocate that also. That is his kindness or his nature. But we can't expect such benedictions as having Krishna as our son. If someone wants such a benediction, establishing a personal, intimate relationship with Krishna, which is the only way for self-satisfaction, Atma Suprasudhiti. Was that surviving some old like whole heart today, the only way for actually experiencing the happiness of the heart, by which one does not have to continue to associate with the modes of nature, which causes repeated break from death and different species of life. Then one has to come to a platform of pure, only desiring the happiness of Krishna. That is the only way that can be done. If one wants that intimate, we have no reason to take it from we have Krishna as a son, it's a very intimate relationship. And there are other intimate relationships in various rasas. And one must attain that in order to actually experience happiness. It is absolutely imperative. That is what is meant by the higher taste. The higher taste means a relationship with Krishna and one's intrinsic rasa with the Lord. And with the rasa vaisa, rasam hridayam vadya mani bhavati. It's one of the Upanishadic verse that's quoted often by other acharyas also. That Krishna is the rasa swarup. Just like when Krishna walked into the assembly of Kamsa, he had a range of place to kill Krishna. That was his particular move. And so then there were so many people who were looking upon Krishna in different ways. The wrestlers saw Krishna as a thunderbolt, the cowherd men saw Krishna as the best man, the ladies saw Krishna as the personified, like this. And so according to the intimacy of the rasa with Krishna, then you saw there's an increase in happiness. This is mentioned by, which we're not talking about the chapter in very kind of meaning. The wrestlers saw Krishna as a thunderbolt. That probably won't produce the best of feelings, right? So when you see you think thunderbolt, that's probably not like a very positive emotion, right? Thunderbolt means you're dead, right? So it's probably not the best emotion. And then the power man saw Krishna as the best of man. That's a more positive emotion. And the power women, the women saw Krishna as super personified. That's an even more intense emotion. So according to the degree of intimacy, then the degree of happiness is experienced. And so therefore, one has to attain Krishna who's the rasa swarupa, kila rasa mukti and devotion, to be happy. But in order to attain that, one's karma, his activities have to be pure, Shubhena, without separate interests. Only desiring happiness of Krishna. Guru Goswami says the same thing, Kamukina Krishna Mishima, Bhakti Uttama. This is the way to attain happiness of the heart. So God becomes saying, Guru Otherwise, there's contamination by the most material nature. So, Anushilanam means literally activities. That's the first thing in devotion. It's not that it's just a feeling. And Prabhupada criticized that. Generally, before Srila Prabhupada translated bhakti as devotion, service. Service indicating a very active element, daily. People understood bhakti to just be like this sentiment in the heart, the feeling of devotion. It's not really devotion at all. It's just it mind's delusion. But the feeling, many times generally you meet Indians like this, but you don't meet so many Americans who worship God in a real way. You might meet Indians like this that I chant the name throughout the day. My bhakti is here. My bhakti is in doing my work for my family and taking care of my kids. That is my bhakti. So that is okay. That's okay. That's not pure bhakti. That's probably most likely more of passion, devotional service. Not even really devotional service, but we'll give you the benefit of the doubt that something like service, maybe not devotional, and the mode of passion. Taking care of the family and taking care of the interest in society and so on. Calling them devotional Christians really ignorance. But they think like that. So first thing is Anushilanam, that there's activity in relationship to Krishna. Prabhupada teaches there in discussing Anushilanam that consciousness alone will not help. The consciousness of devotion. But there has to actually be the activities of devotion as well. Both are required. So this word Shilanam has two aspects to it. This is mentioned. One aspect called as a Cheshtarupa, and another aspect called as a Bhagavatam. Cheshtarupa means the active element of devotional service. And the Bhagavatam means the actions of the purified heart. Sometimes also referred to as Bhagavad Bhakti. It means the activity of the purified heart. That generally doesn't take place until one attains very exalted state of devotional service. And even when one has not attained very exalted state of devotional service, the intrinsic indicator of devotion is actually the active element. Because even if you have deep bhava for Krishna, it is expressed through activity. Right? Just like a mother has deep love for a child. At least in the religion, things like that. Okay. So they, the mother, apparently has devotion for a child or love for her child, but that love has to be expressed, right? So the indicator of the love is actually the expression. Although the expression of the love is not exactly the love, right? It compels the loving activities. At the same time, it's the indicator. So even when there's deep bhava, bhakti for Krishna, it is expressed through various activities. So the Cheshtarupa means the active element done from one's body, mind, and words is the indicator of devotion to Krishna. And in the stage of practice, it is most certainly the activities of the body, mind, and words in relationship to Krishna that is the hallmark of devotion to Krishna. So it has to be connected to Krishna, of course. It can't just be activities of body, mind, and words to humanity. What is that? Manava Seva is Madhava Seva. That's sheer foolishness. We say Madhava Seva is Madhava Seva. And people who connect to that, they'll be benefit also. So the activity of body, mind, and words connect to Krishna through the mercy of the Guru Parampara. So therefore the word Anu is used. Not only is the word Anu Shilanam in continuous activities, but the word Anu is to follow. So when the active element of one's cultivation, devotional service with one's body, mind, and words is connected to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through the medium of the Buddha become God. So Prabhupada says in the introduction, where this verse is described, that unless one takes initiation from the bona fide spiritual master, then his actual connection with Krishna does not take place. But Prabhupada uses that language. Of course, we have Buddhism who take initiation. And there's many things, but Divya Jnana, we told how this is the definition given oftentimes. It means the communication transmitting to knowledge of the disciple. But it also means receiving the various mantras and worship of Krishna, particularly the deity form of Krishna. Because in order to maintain the purity, in order to attain the purity of the body, mind, and words, then deity worship is usually most essential for conditioned souls. And the worship of the deity in some way is very important for the conditioned souls. So in the worship of the deity, there are mantras that are used in the worship of the deity. The various mantras and diatribes are used to worship the deity. The main element of that, of course, is the holy name of Krishna. But their holy names are like conjugated, I would say also like Krishna, like that is like conjugated into Krishna. I used to worship the deity. So that is given at the time of initiation also. And it's mentioned by Mahaprabhu that the mantra will help us to attain devotion from the contamination into life, the second interest. There's a verse that I was trying to remember. Krishna mantra haite hare samsara machani. Krishna nama haite hare Krishna vijnana. So yeah, Mahaprabhu was speaking to the sannyasis, headed by Prakashananda Saraswati, who makes this point that the mantra given by the Buddha at the time of initiation will help one to attain the liberated platform, samsara moksha, freedom from samsara. And samsara is described as the endless network of misconceptions. As you're getting out of one misconception, you get into another one. You get out of one misconception, I am, and finally you get one misconception, here comes another one. Isn't it sometimes we have experience like that where we feel encouraged? Today I've given up the fact that I'm in control of it. And then another one comes up, I'm going to enjoy it. And then today I've given up, I'm not going to enjoy it. And something else comes up. Anyways, this is samsara in this case. So one gets freedom from samsara. Mahaprabhu says to chant the mantra, the Krishna mantra. And then by chanting holy name and the liberated platform, a platform free from misconceptions, then he says, Krishna Vijnana, you will to me with Krishna. So anyway, the point I'm making is that our activities offered to Krishna, the body, mind, and words, offered to Krishna, they become fractionally connected through that relationship with spiritual ministry. It is called initiation. So this verse we all know that you should approach the Guru with dakshina, right? $100 bills, right? The white envelope, right? Sometimes in the old days of this temple, even the brahmacharis would look forward to going to the home program. They ended up going to buy an envelope, right? So that dakshina Guru does not require because he's still detached, instinctual. He's not attached to it. But there is a certain dakshina you are supposed to approach the Guru that's mentioned as Pranipat Paripashna Seva. This dakshina you should go to the Guru, this dakshina. Submission, relevant, inquiry, and service. When you approach the Guru with his dakshina, then the Bhagavad says Upadekshanti, he gives initiation. The word Upadekshanti means he gives initiation. Prabhupada doesn't translate it like that in his translation, but in his word to word, he does translate it like that. Because the word Upadekshanti means he gives initiation. So this point of initiation is important for establishing the relationship with Krishna in a real way, as taught by Srila Prabhupada. And so then, when our activities are connected to Krishna in a real way, there's another feature that has to be there to make it pure, Anupamina. It should be favorable to Krishna. With an intentionally favorable disposition towards Krishna. and not accidentally favorable to Krishna. For an example is given, it's just like the demons. They also please Krishna by accident. Their intention is to kill Krishna, actually, that is the only concern. But because Krishna has this Vira Rasa, he likes to fight. That's why we get to fight in propensity, especially when you fight from devotion studies. Strong fighting propensity, because Krishna likes to fight also. In fact, sometimes in the spiritual world, he's known to fight with them. So then some devotees have to become demons just so he can get it out of them. You know? Sometimes we have experience like that too in the conditioned state. We just have to fight it. For no reason, just pick a fight, find some fault, pick a fight. So sometimes Krishna, he also wants to fight because he's got to get out. So then the demons, they have only intention to kill Krishna because Krishna likes to fight. He's very satisfied with them. But their bhava is not pure. They're asura bhava, they're demoniac bhava. They want to kill Krishna. But they please Krishna by fighting him. Whereas one of the soda, she displeased Krishna in the Liga where she was making milk for Krishna. Krishna wanted the breast milk, and she put him down, thinking that she had very carefully was preparing this milk. She selected all the best out of 100 cows. Chose the best 8. Out of those 8 cows, chose the best one needs to go. It's very cleverly described. And so this milk is like very special milk, and it's boiling over. She didn't want it to be spoiled. So she put down Krishna to save the milk in order to serve Krishna. On the Punera, she was totally favorable to Krishna, but she displeased Krishna. Does that mean Kamsa is a pure devotee and one of the sodas in the fight? No, one of the sodas is in the fight. She's only having a desire to please Krishna. But she apparently happened to displease Krishna, apparently. But her intention was unrecorded, favorable, desiring to be kind to Krishna. Whereas Kamsa and others, they were demoniac. So in other words, Anushilanam is not sufficient to describe devotional service, but the Anupurana point has to be there. That it has to be with a desire to bring happiness to Krishna. Then it's called Shuddha. In order to constrict the meaning of that, in the first half of the verse, the Goswami says, because you can be favorable to Krishna and also favorable to other things in material energy, right? You come to someone, you give a donation, you participate in kirtan, you might even do a japa, you might even be initiated. But then outside of those activities, you have a whole other realm of activities that is not for Krishna's pleasure. It's not intentionally against Krishna, but philosophically it is because Krishna is an enjoyer and trying to upset his position by trying to enjoy. Anyway, so then in order to restrict the meaning, in order to distinguish pure devotion from some other mixture, so Guru Goswami said it is devoid of other desires. Also, that constricts the meaning of the word Anupurana. And also in terms of activities, there's cultivation of knowledge, there's activities in relation to Krishna. So Guru Goswami says that knowledge and those activities should not eclipse the devotion to Krishna, desire to please Him. In other words, there is cultivation of knowledge and there's activity in devotional service, but it should not eclipse the desire to please Krishna. So, of course, we hear that knowledge that leads to impersonalism, and those activities which are filial. Those things should not call devotion, but in the realm of devotion, so we don't see so much of those are aspiring for impersonal liberation. Because we hear that's really, really bad. And still, our cultivation of Gyan can cover us. When it says cultivation of Gyan, it means pure knowledge composed of some other religion. But when we desire to do that without the guidance of the spiritual master, then that becomes a covering of the desire to please Krishna. That's prasada, bhagavad prasada, that's prasada. How do we know Krishna is pleased? If the spiritual master is pleased, Krishna is pleased. And the spiritual master is displeased, then one can never please Krishna. So then when we desire to cultivate knowledge, even devotional knowledge, without the assistance of the guiding hand of the Guru, then that becomes a covering of the desire to please Krishna. And we gain momentum in satisfying ourselves. Oh, I know this, so many things. And go so many shastras. And similarly, in our activities of devotional service, if it is not with the assistance of the guiding hand of the Guru, then it becomes like he was doing something. Ritualistic activity. Ritualistic activity happens in many religions also. Many times we criticize other religions. They just have dry rituals. But has anyone tried Japa to you? Is it not like a dry ritual for you guys? I mean, we don't want it to be like that, but oftentimes it's just like, gotta get it done. We're very conscious of the number, isn't it? Very conscious. Even the number of weed that we're on, sometimes you can see the bodies repeatedly doing this thing. But I'm saying in the weed as well. In other words, it can become a dry ritual. And that way it can become a covenant, it's called me a Madhava, which Buddha Swami says in the story of Bhakti. So in this way, we don't attain purity, we don't attain the connection to Krishna and not happy. So Maharaj Nandi has been glorified here by the sages of all because of the purity of his activities. Jagnamta Kamina Anurachalopiramana. Jagna means Jagna by Vishnu. Jagna means acting for the pleasure of Vishnu. Acting for the pleasure of Krishna. That is Jagna, that is real Jagna. And without acting for the pleasure of Krishna, then we're being controlled by the most material nature. Kamandana, and that only result in bondage in the material nature. So, of course, it is not expected that we would have the pure Srivena Kamana and the very outside. But we have to repeatedly meditate on these verses to describe what purity is, so that we can understand it and pursue it. Otherwise, we become another dry religionist. And we think we're better than others. It's not like Buddhism think we're better than others. We probably think that we have such a nice philosophy, we have such nice guidance, such nice facility, devotion, service. But if we never actually pursue the pure thing, then what is the use of it all? Having a good situation is not the goal of the Krishna consciousness movement. Rather the actual pursuit of Krishna and purity is the goal. So we have to know what it is and pursue it. And then we have a very nice truth that we us in the form of a divine reciprocation from the Supreme Lord. So Maharaj Nanda is glorified by just only from Prabhupada himself. He's glorified for his purity in his activities. He pleased Krishna. And what was the result of pleasing Krishna? He got Krishna as a son. Like that. So such things it's a rating everyone. It's not like Maharaj Nanda not the best of us. It's rating everyone. And it requires a degree of faith. And according to the degree of faith, it's that degree of the strength of the pursuit. Right? When there is a strong faith, then the pursuit will be weak. And when there is strong faith, the pursuit will be strong. Like that. So these things can be too much. This is my difference. So anyone else wants to say anything?
First thing is just a simple clarification on what you were learning at the beginning. This word Vidaharanti in the verse. It's the Bhagavad Gita says the old sages. Elsewhere in the database it just says they say or Vedic authorities say. So it's kind of like anything else that you say right. I just thought maybe trying to talk about just also Maharaj Nanda obviously is going to give the course of his position, and yet the Brahmanas, part of it was for the instructive purpose of the Bhagavatam. We got to understand that we shouldn't do anything materially when it's desired as good as one God or son. They are expressing to the Lord things about Maharaj Nanda that it seems that they don't actually understand his position.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah. So, but they are still pleasing the Lord. And he says, he's common because of that pleasing. Yeah. So, we could discuss about this, how they are still, their disposition is still pleasing to Krishna. At the same time, they're not recognizing
even Krishna is pleased even by the followers of Kama. like discusses this in one of our texts, and he's even accused by the followers of Congo because they follow his system, which seems like Christian, which is not for pleasure. It's because they agree to follow the system he gave for this interpretation. It says he satisfies them also. And you'll see that throughout the Bhagavatam, the demigods often perish for something very selfish. Like recently, the sixth canto, and the demigods are praying the Lord so he will kill the destroyer. And the prayers they offer are amazing. They're like really powerful prayers. So much so that when Lord Narayana appears before him, he says, if anyone hears these prayers, they'll develop devotion. That's how powerful their prayers were. But their desire was very base, can you feel the destroyer? And even in their prayers, they said, we know this is not a good thing to have, and we know that you know everything, and you have to ask, we're going to ask you anyway. And Lord Vishnu was pleased because they took shelter from him. And he reciprocates. The reciprocation he gives is not the same as Maharaj. It's not the intimacy relationship with him and the satisfaction of heart. Now Mr. Sri is killed, and do the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, which is misery, which is a cause of continued existence in samsara. So you can say it's like a cheap mercy. There's like real mercy and cheap mercy. It's like I like to use example in the first chapter of Gita, where Duryodhana gets encouragement from the one of the council of Vishnu. Right, he's on my side like that, and he feels encouraged, feels enlightened. But Vishnu was actually indicating to him that, this is a symbol of Vishnu. Vishnu's on his side, you're going to die. But he misunderstood, He thought, now I'm getting great encouragement from Vishnu, great support, that's support. That wasn't the real mercy. The real mercy would have been because Vishnu is an Adhan, he would inquire from him about instructions. That's real mercy, how the Buddha would take that. So one may please Krishna and thereby get various levels of reciprocation, in the form of fulfillment of your desires and other such things. Even liberation, there's a verse at the end of the 6th chapter of this canto, which describes how Krishna would very easily fulfill your desires and even get liberation. But bhakti, he will not get so easy because he becomes controlled by that. So there's different levels of pleasing to Krishna. But we understand as an attempt in our attempt to purity, understand that the real pleasure of Krishna happens to deal with activities only meant for his happiness. And a level of reciprocation one gets from that is Atma supersedity, which is not there in other forms of reciprocation from Krishna in the form of fulfillment of desires. So like that. We can understand, I understand it in that particular way. And then it's not like they committed offense to money also. There may have been a misunderstanding of this transcendence, and that happens all the time. How many personalities do you think are welcome to hear that popular transcendental? And we keep ourselves in good food. Our own respect, we want to go in with good food. We only have, we want to, how you said, discussion table. There will be Dhanavir Goswami, Sri Prabhupada, Sri Rama. You guys are doing that. That's our discussion, How many times do we have such a mentality? It's not very exactly offensive. We have respect, but we don't recognize a good position. And perhaps, and therefore our regard is not deep. But we're not going to be offensive. So then still, we get accordingly, which is so fun.
Hare Krishna, Guru. Thank you very much for that. You mentioned at the outset that there's processes and laws of nature, and in order to goodness, one is motivated with desiring personal purification. So what is, because we hear how that's it's good,
Yeah, it's more good use of that.
Yeah, which is even, if you really wants to be there, 100%. So, what is the transcendental, like, completely, is it that one is completely, is indifferent to his Clearly, he's not thinking, I become pure and pure, but he's having difficulty understanding.
Well, two things. Number one is we should elevate ourselves from the biggest desires first. Prabhupada says the first effect of Krishna consciousness in the 14th chapter of Gita is one comes to the goodness. Is the first effect. So it's not like we should feel or start weeping and rolling around in great distress because I desire some purification. Start beating ourselves or something. It's good. It's a good start. Shraddha and Vishwasya should be destroyed. And the pure devotional position is that by pleasing Krishna, I'll do everything. That's the focus. So I'll give myself purification also, and all the other things that are required just by trying to satisfy Krishna. So that's the pure devotional faith, and the pure devotional mentality is like that. By serving Krishna, I'll do everything. So there would be no necessity for separate interests. Because that would be, but we may not be there, but everybody knows a passion for beings. Probably a lot of passion that has been mentioned also. So the first effect of Krishna consciousness is motivations, desire for self-purification. And then our faith will evolve. From that path, when we cultivate faith evolves, and then the focus starts to switch to this time to please being Krishna. And being less concerned about what I mean out of here. Well, will I get self-purification out of this? Will I get appreciation out of this? Will I get the emotional support out of it? Those things are important for us in the beginning. But as we cultivate Krishna consciousness, in the goodness, we develop strength in our faith. And then the conscience switches much like, okay, pleasure being Krishna. And whatever comes from that, that is command.
Follow one same topic. There's more enough to answer this idea of pleasing, acting in such a way that will please Krishna. So then, one must understand the desire of this person who trying to please the instruction for the which is you could say desire. But then also there's an individual who's there. So I'm having difficulty understanding where one's individuality comes from my own desire, and how is that expressed? Because if it's just a question of subordinating my desire to their desire, then it seems that we
all cease to exist. And all of desire consumes gratification is
and also the desire.
Our sense of individuality is misconceived. So then we're afraid of losing misconception. Anyway, we should have Prabhupada discussed this in the Srimad about oneness with Krishna. He speaks about oneness and desire. And that is a Vaishnava of oneness. Right? Even Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about a Siddhuja Brahman-Mukti, living one worship service. In his description of the residents of Vrindavan, he says they all attain Siddhuja Mukti. Which means oneness with Krishna, because their desire is so intrinsically one with Krishna that there's absolutely no difference as such. But in giving expression to that, there's individual expression. That's where. So, like for example, the spiritual master says, start preaching sinner, help them out to someone. Start preaching sinner, and then the individual will give expression to that desire in his own individual way, how to fulfill the order of the spiritual master. So, like Prabhupada, they didn't write it ways. And I think I remember reading a letter of this community. That one devotee was asking Srila Prabhupada about every little detail, like Prabhupada told me to do something. And he was, well, Prabhupada, how do I do this? And Prabhupada, how do I do that? But like, step by step by step. Prabhupada said, figure it out. Do it individually. But it's in line with the desire of being Krishna. But there's an individual expression. So you get an instruction, and then you have your own initiative how to carry it out. And you get carried away, there's always a helping hand, hopefully, to keep you on track. So it's not like you're losing yourself, but rather you're gaining yourself.
The thing that I'm confused about when your inspiration also comes from Krishna. Inspirations of Super Soul, manifesting some inspirations in thought, like that. So
you can always get a component. That was a nice thing about having superior lifetimes now, with the support of you. Like Parashurama had inspiration to fast to God. But then you confirm this inspiration with some of the personalities. So even if we think that we're getting a divine inspiration, then you can always confirm it. The problem is with us is that as soon as it doesn't get confirmed, he doesn't understand the inspiration. Doesn't understand how Krishna science happens. Some people ask other like that. So we don't have much faith in Vaishnavas, so much we can do. It seems our quote-unquote inspiration is always helped by that prayer, but it's very simple in terms of if you're thinking about that, I can always get it. That is the benefit of having superior Vaishnavas, existing with superior Vaishnavas.
So, no, sorry, my question was about, that was helpful also, and the inspiration is coming from Krishna.
So you think? Okay.
No, I mean ideally, okay. It's either coming from Krishna or Maya, but that's not me, it's not coming from me. But then I understand the inspiration, that's like, it seems like that's the desire. It's coming from outside.
Desire.
That's my question, is what is my desire? Who am I? What is that? How do I understand that?
Well, in the conditioned state, your desires are all related to material or subtle body. Right? In other words, you're Maya. So the inspiration is coming from Maya. That's why people who try to get out of Maya by their own inspiration remain in Maya. Because all the inspirations are coming from Maya. All the plans to get out are coming from Maya. And she doesn't give you plans to get out. She gives you plans how to get more entangled. And it looks like you're going to get out, but then you end up in the worst position before. So then, so that's our desire in a conditioned state of life. And then pure state of life is a desire for inspiration. And so as we're trying to cultivate that from the platform of conditioning, we have the merciful manifestation of Guru, and we don't have to speculate. What is your desire for me? Because one has faith that whatever the Guru said, the inspiration of Krishna is acting through him, not through me. We think like that, the inspiration of Krishna is acting through me. But actually, the inspiration of Krishna is acting through the spiritual master. So when the disciple hears from the spiritual master, he thinks this is Krishna directly speaking to me, directly communicating to me what he wants from me. And therefore, what is the conclusion? We don't know the lack of clarity and stuff. But there is confusion because of lack of faith. And again, it's not like people become non-existent and it's individual expression. When you're connected to Guru, and there's a proper connection with the internal energy you become God. That as you're carrying out those instructions, because of being connected, you may get a lot of inspiration, which is going to manifest that desire more and more. And you can say that's spiritual, that's going to be properly connected. But before there's proper connection, that inspiration, you can't put so much weight like that.
If I may say, the question is a wrong question. Very incomplete question. Because the premise in your question is that inspiration is something extraneous to the soul. It is not true. So it's not just that inspiration comes only from Maya or Krishna, the soul has no activity to do. Inspiration is from the soul. Can be from Krishna also, because there are two. Krishna can inspire the soul in a particular way. The soul can have his own inspiration as well. Then there is what is called resonance. According to the inspiration,
If it is resonant with Bahirmukha, something strange to Krishna, then Maya magnifies it because of Ahankara or falsehood. And if the inspiration is pure, it's like Krishna magnifies it. But the inspiration is after only come from Krishna or as a soul. So it also have inspiration. In fact, soul has.
Yeah, I was thinking it's something like when we say love of God. So the soul has love, at the same time, it's an energy coming from Krishna that is being offered again to Krishna. So I was thinking something like that in inspiration. Internal energy or external energy. And then we need to connect it to the internal energy of Krishna. Then, the purity of it will be able to get to know more. So I was thinking along these lines.
This is a very important message. As we're indicating that we contemplate and we can try to develop that ability free from selfish desire, or rather selfish desire, so Krishna, simply for his pleasure. And I'm wondering how practically we carry that out day to day, because it seems the mind is very quick to give justification. This may not be Krishna. Because you have instructions and your guidance, but when it comes moment to moment, how can we be sure that everything that we're doing, or this is fine at the right stage, but it's not simply for Krishna's satisfaction. When you tell a complete understanding of, as Bhakti said, the Lord's desire, which without a stage, so we don't have access to them. We're not in direct communion with the soul or the spiritual master. So I guess it's like a gradual involvement. I just know some mind can very easily justify
The remote simply. First, thanks, simplicity, is on definite condition. And therefore, my desire for definite, with me, somebody who could use my mind, with my endeavor. Right, there isn't some fault there, definitely. It's temporary desire also, some fault. But that's okay. Every success story has its starting point, right? But then how do we get from that point to the next point? So then we have so many instructions that are there that we need to do progressively. And as we're carrying out those instructions, there will be mistakes, and we'll not make mistakes will grow. There will be lapses in consciousness oftentimes. Where I'm not doing it, not even for anyone's pleasure. I'm not happy. I'm not doing this for anyone's happiness. I'm already jump ship, and sometimes there are lapses in consciousness like that. That's always enough for you. But you remain in the mode of the instructions and continue to move forward like that. And I don't know if we should. There should, of course, be thoughtfulness about how we're progressing. But there shouldn't be we shouldn't become like pedants. Like unnecessary analyzing every little detail. That's impossible. And that is also foolish because we become absorbing aside by doing that. Because we have so many material things going on, that by trying to pedantically analyze it, we become absorbing aside. And we won't get inspiration, we'll be depressed. So rather acknowledging our fallen condition, we simply take a simple method of development. Chant Hare Krishna, repeat 16 miles. We have a discussion, we come about Tatsaya, we take the Lord's prasadam, and we try to make progress sincerely, always claiming Krishna to, be kind upon us and move us on to our natural state of existence, like that. That would be my, let's say, advice. Don't be too angry if you can be stage.
It's because of the nature of the discussion. It's mental devotion is chapter 5 of purity of devotional service is even expressed as one who doesn't resort to fruitive or speculative endeavors. it doesn't necessarily mean that we're free of all contamination of the motivation as you express notion. You just say, devastating to see if there's some non-transcendental things going. But then how do we determine how we're moving forward with what happens? What am I going to do next? Is it based on instruction? Or is it based on my support of the whatever I'm supposed to do? So the third thing, and it's been expressed that we should be considering the person who is practicing like that should be considered to avoid as they're not applying karma dhyana, although they may not have come to the perfect stage yet. So our concern is more how many decisions in Krishna consciousness, as we explained some level, how I know it, I could all that you can have knows the nature yet. And that way it's not so restored that it's just you know, set that for.
Yeah.